That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a Notre Dame versus Ohio State for the championship. The ultimate, what though the odds be great or small edition of the Always Irish show. Let's talk about it. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni Boy out as well. Notifications on. You don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnb@gmail.com. I'm only 400 emails behind. I'm working on it. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody blames you for that. Do the audio only. Call-in lines. They're popping. 312-988-15. Dial it up. Tell Uncle Johnny all you've heard and seen, just like Shane Gillis did after the game the other night. What a treat that was, man. That was awesome. Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. The former captain, leading tackler Mike Goolsby, myself, and Jared Clark breaking it all down. It's going to be great breaking down the all 22 from this Penn State game. So thanks to everybody who's there. ND Natty promo code, half off Patreon for this run. Capital letters ND Natty, NATTY. Enter it, get half off for the first month while we make it through this championship window. All right, folks. The title game is set. It'll be Notre Dame against Ohio State for the championship. A tough circumstance for all the Michigan fans there are. The Michigan fans, they probably don't know what to do. They already have trouble with critical thinking. Now they got to figure out who to root for between the two teams they hate the most. Tough scene for them. Good thing for the state of northern colder weather football. Is anybody thinking of that? You don't have the SEC. You don't have any teams down south. No matter what happens, it is a credit to northern cold weather football. And I like that. The early line, predictably, I'm seeing Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite is what I saw this morning when I first saw the line. Maybe it's moved. I don't know. But that's what I saw. I'm not mad at the line. Ohio State's ran through the playoff, looked like the best team throughout it. They have the best team money can buy, literally. I'm not using that metaphorically. Literally, they have the best roster money could buy. And they're much healthier than Notre Dame. It is what it is with those things. I don't think anything I'm saying there is even debatable. Those are all just the facts. Let's get into this. Let's dig. First, listen, I'm not an X's and O's guy. That's not my strength. That I don't claim that that's my thing. I have a strong opinion about Texas. It's one of the worst play calls I've ever seen by Texas on the goal line after getting 2 penalties, pushing them closer, going in to tie the game. It's one of the worst calls I've ever seen in modern football. I don't care how good and tough. The announcers kept talking about how tough Ohio State is up the middle, up front to try and go north-south from the one to score and tie that football game with like 4 minutes left or whatever. Maybe even less. I don't care how good, what a brick wall it is. I'm running it 4 times up the middle from the one. That play out wide to lose 7 yards, it's inexcusable. Like, for as much as you think it's going to be hard to run north-south on Ohio State, they got athletes to get out to the edges too. I would, even if you wanted to throw it on one of those downs, I'm fine with that. And you either throw it away if nobody's open and you get another play from the one. To bounce it outside like that and lose 7 yards, I couldn't believe it. I just can't believe you think risking a loss by a play that puts you behind the line of scrimmage against that defense when you're that close. I just can't believe you think you have better odds doing that than smashing them 1 out of 4 times north and south from the one. So 14-point swing there, and instead of tying the game, Ohio State wins, and they get the whole poster board thing of Sawyer running it all the way back and whatever. Ohio State wins. So I hated that call by Texas. I'm rolling the dice from the one north-south. taking one play to throw it, and if it ain't open, I'm throwing it away, or leaning forward, I'm doing something, not that. So that's how that ended. As for Notre Dame and Ohio State, Notre Dame's a big underdog. Everybody's going to be picking Ohio State. All the talking heads are going to pick Ohio State. All of this stuff's going to come up. They're so talented. They're healthier than Notre Dame. They've dominated through the playoff, like whatever you want to say. Turning on the Jets after the Michigan loss, whatever. Everybody's going to be picking Ohio State. It is what it is. It is what it is. And you're not going to be able to change that thought. It's just, that's what the narrative's going to be. Fine. So be it. That's what the narratives should be. Let all the pressure be on Ryan Day and Ohio State to get this done. Being an underdog gives you freedom to just let it rip. Let it rip. Notre Dame's been an underdog in this CFP thing since week 2, and they haven't lost since. So you're going to be the underdog. That gives you some freedom to just go out there, roll the dice, let it fly, try some, whatever you need to do. Think about this storyline, though. Think about it. Marcus Freeman from Ohio State, all Big Ten linebacker, to the head coach at Notre Dame. 2 tough losses to Ohio State, one at the Horseshoe in his very first game as the head coach with a brand new quarterback starting his first game. The other in 2023 with the nightmare, Marcus 10-man nightmare, brutal ending to lose into Northern Illinois, to then 13 wins in a row with a banged up MASH unit roster leading into this moment. The ultimate Freeman redemption, 30 for 30, storybook, tie a bow, the beginning and all the way tie a bow on the end of it, is to find some way to win this stupid game. Like if you're looking at the documentary on this, the 30 for 30, there's only one way it can end, and it's Notre Dame somehow finding a way to get ultimate redemption on Ohio State. Everything ties in, man. The first tough 2 games between Freeman and those guys, him playing there, all of this stuff, making up for the 10-man, all of it. It's the ultimate Notre Dame Marcus Freeman redemption story to find a way to win this game. What are the odds of that? People are going to say pretty low. And I understand why. People are going to say it's going to be pretty low. Here's the thing. Games are played on a field and not on a computer database simulation for a reason. The better roster does not win every football game. If it did, you wouldn't even need to play the games. You just recruit, go pay your NIL deal, whatever, and then we just see who has the most talent, and you don't play the games. You just get whoever has the best roster, you just chalk them a win. You don't need to play the games. If the better, healthier roster won every game, you don't need to play any games. This is going to be a monumental uphill battle, and I openly admit Ohio State has the better, healthier roster top to bottom. But to count this Notre Dame team out now, I think would be disrespectful to Notre Dame. What though the odds be great or small? Like, what do you want Notre Dame to do? Just roll over and cry? Why play the game? You fought all this way to get here, and now what? Roll over and play dead in this moment and count it as a loss before you play it? Notre Dame's come too far for anybody in the fan base to look at it that way. You have 2 of the best coordinators in the sport. Draw up a plan, go for broke, take some chances, and try and go win the game. You cannot go into this playing scared, coaching scared, whatever. That's Kelly stuff. Being the underdog gives Notre Dame freedom here to take some chances. Everyone's going to be betting against you, picking against you, saying you're going to get blown out, whatever. There's freedom in that on the Notre Dame side. It's just, I agree they should be favored. I agree they have a better, more talented, healthier roster. I agree with all of that, man. But that alone does not win you any games. Ohio State could dominate a lot of the statistics and the numbers, but Notre Dame makes a special teams play, tips 2 passes that we catch and run in, and it's a different ball game. Anything can happen in one game. Anything can happen in one game. Anything. You do not have to have the better roster. You do not have to be playing better and healthier, entering into it. You just got to beat these guys on one night. Play really good, catch a couple breaks, take a couple chances, and hit them. I mean, I just gave you an example. The odds are against Notre Dame, and nobody's going to dispute that. They can dominate all the statistics they want. If they make a couple bad mistakes, Notre Dame's right in the game. Like, it's football. Anything can happen, man. You tip a couple balls, you knock one out. They make a couple mistakes they don't usually make. You do a special teams play and it works. Anything can happen in one game. So I felt this weird shift from like flying high after Penn State, and then once Ohio State wins their game, I felt like this lull in the energy. And it's like, it reminds me of The Office. And Michael Scott's got bad news to tell everybody. And he's like, now is the time for me to be their leader and be strong. And he goes out there and he goes, listen up, everybody. We are screwed. He's like, now it's time for me to be their leader and be strong. And he goes out there and he goes, we are screwed. All right. There is a huge spider right here climbing by my computer on the light. I'm going to try and keep my eye on this furry guy while I'm finishing this episode. But I got my eyes on this thing. If you see me looking over, that spider is big, and if I go for him, I'm afraid something's going to happen. I'm going to knock all my stuff down. Don't fall in my chalice of malice, buddy. But I got my eye on you. He's a big one. I don't like this thing. It's what happens when your studio's in the basement. So I don't know what you guys want to do. Just fold over and die? Notre Dame's fought all this way, and now you're just going to roll over and bow down to Ryan Day? No. So, yes, Ohio State should be favored. Yeah, they have the better roster. Yeah, they're healthier. That alone doesn't win you a football game, though. That's how I'm entering this, you guys. You're in this moment where if you find any way to just win by 1 point, you're the champions. You've come too far to be scared now. Let it all hang. Let Al Golden and Denbrock and Biaggi come up with stuff, and you roll the dice. You give it everything you have. And if Ohio State plays a good game and beats you, they play a good game and beat you. And then we'll talk about how that looks and what the future is. The one thing, okay, he's on the move now. He's on the move now. The one thing that can't happen, you guys, is Notre Dame just can't get blown out. You've gained all this credibility with the Indiana win, a little bit of credibility. The Georgia win, more credibility. Come back against Penn State, great credibility. That's the one thing you got to be on high alert for as far as credibility-wise. If it gets real ugly against you, that's going to be tough because people are going to do everything they can to discredit this great run Notre Dame's on. And when they're doing that, they won't admit how injured we are. It's just going to be, look at little Notre Dame. They're not going to want to acknowledge all that. So that's the only thing that it absolutely can't be. But I'm not ready to roll over and just hand a trophy to Ryan Day in Ohio State. So the odds are against you for understandable reasons. Anything can happen in one game. You just need to make a couple big plays, catch a couple breaks, and see what happens and be in it late. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. I got to get this spider. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.